Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Vicious Reps. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. Gonna go over Survivor Series this week. It was in Boston, Massachusetts, and well, I'm not gonna even lie. This was a hell of a good show, and you know, not only that, the records. Not only that, you look at the numbers, business-wise, and you know the numbers showed it themselves. Sold out show, one of, if not the highest grossing Survivor Series since its inception. You know, it was a lot. I don't remember all the specifics, but there's a lot of data that backs up a lot of the things. But this was a very good Survivor Series. Not just content-wise, but business-wise. And, you know, fucking A. You know, I like when wrestling business, not just this company or that company, just the wrestling business in general, is doing good. Because when it's good in general, every promotion out there raises their game. And everything turns out better in the end for the fans. So yeah. With that said though, now that I'm done talking about that, let's get into the show, Survivor Series. It starts out with the women's war game match. It's Team Bianca, which is Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Mia Yim, and the return of the the man, Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch made her return the night before on Friday Night SmackDown, and well, I'm gonna say this: some people out there were having a huge bitch fit that Friday night on Twitter, and such, because they showed Becky's return, but SmackDown was delayed because the NFL game went into overtime, blah, 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 blah. You know, and they were saying, how could you let that happen, WWE? Fuck them, fuck that, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't let that happen. They got no fucking say in that shit. That's fucking network stuff. Instead of getting pissed off at WWE or the fucking NFL, fucking bitch about it, the Fox Network. For fuck's sake. Here's a picture-perfect example. And when this happened, this was the first thing popped into my brain. Rewind the clock. All them years back. We're going way, way into the Wayback Machine. About a good maybe 20-something years back. When the first inception of the XFL came to be. When Vince first tried making the XFL. There was a Saturday night game. It went into overtime. And it went over when Saturday Night Live was supposed to be on. And I remember it specifically because I was a big fan of watching SNL at that time and went to put it on and heard Jim Ross saying specifically on the commentary, "Oh, folks, we're in the SNL's time, and I'm sure J-Lo is pissed off right now," or something along those lines. But I remember that. And this was the exact same thing. And you know, it had nothing to do with it had nothing to do with the company. Had nothing to do with the show that was supposed to be on after. It's the fucking network. You know, God forbid, you know, what are you gonna do? Fucking get over it. That's the best you can. I mean, I can't count how many times when I was a kid I was mad because, you know, fucking baseball games or a football game ran over while a show I was supposed to watch was on. Ugh. Get over it, people. Anyways, Team Bianca going against Team Bayley, which was Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, as well as Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. You know, and, well, last time I saw 10 women in a cage in one time, I lost about a good $300 and had a whole lot of fun memories after that. Okay, for the sake of legal purposes and prevent my head from getting any more brain dusters and lumps, then I'm more than definitely going to deserve calling this match. I'm going to leave it blank on there, talking about anything else further. But it started out with Dakota Kai and Bianca were actually the starters for this match, and it was damn good. Now, Bayley's team, they obviously had the War Games advantage, so as the match progressed on, it was Bianca's team, or not Bianca's, Bayley's team, then Bianca, Bayley's, then Bianca's, like that. And, man, I gotta tell you, the way WWE is just doing the simple teasing of constantly with Io, of eventually getting a one-on-one between Io and Asuka. Oh, good God. And when that happens, well, it's a good thing I have a cardiologist on standby and I have a healthy amount of heart pills on hand. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much popping them like Tic Tacs, but yeah. Now, when Nikki Cross comes in, that's when the toys come into play. Phrasing. Yeah, Nikki starts bringing in the weapons, and then it's like after her, then everyone started bringing in weapons, and it was just at one point, it just like, okay, it's kind of getting a little overboard, and this is coming from somebody who did a lot of who had no problem ever using weapons. Just, ugh. Although, personal highlight of the night for that match. Personal highlight for the women's War Games match was when Alexa Bliss came down. She started running down and then stopped, like hit the brakes, stopped on a dime, lifted up the camera cord that was in front of her so she didn't trip, and then continued running real quick. Like, run, stop, lift the cord, and then power walk to the stairs. I don't know. That just tickled me pink. That made me laugh. Something fierce like, oh, I'm coming. Wait, fuck your camera cord. Okay, now I'm here. Like, yeah. Now, when they all got in, very much so what you would expect for normal War Games, total full-on car crash mayhem. Fucking loved it. Lot of good violence in it. And yeah, definitely dug the hell out of it. Bianca, Matt, yeah. Damn it! Easy for me to say. Get my damn words right. Now, everyone just stood out, had a great, phenomenal moment in there. Now, match came to an end when Becky and Bianca wound up taking out Io and Bayley, and then Becky did a leg drop off the top of the cage onto Dakota and Io, who were laying on the table. Now, the following night on Raw, Becky started out Raw cutting a promo saying on how she's back. She was on the shelf for about 4 months. And while she was cutting this promo, she was out there with the people, sitting next to Bob, who was wearing an X-Men hoodie. And, I'm a fan of X-Men myself. And, wanting to be out with the people. And talking about on how she wants, basically summing it up on how she wants blood. She wants damage control. And then Bayley came out wearing skin-tight leather, talking down, saying on how you want to be around these germ-infested people, by all means, blah, 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 and then basically saying that we're going to get you. We're coming for you. And then Io and Dakota showed up out of nowhere behind her, and then it started to go into a 3-on-1 brawl. Becky was handling her own, taking them all on. It got to the point to where they got through the crowd, and then they were through the walkway, and then they got to a merch stand brawl, and then Becky was literally beating them up with WWE Shop Zone merchandise, and that was pretty hilarious, because seeing Becky pick up a giant plastic chain, and whipping it across Dakota or Io, one of them's back, and just like, man, I could just imagine on how you had to pitch that, on how you had to run that opening segment up to them. All right, and then you're gonna have this brawl, and then you're gonna go into the merch stand right here, okay? And Becky, you're gonna pick up one of the toy chains, and then you're gonna go and crack it. I mean, like you wanna crack it, like you wanna smash them something fierce across their back. And it's this toy chain right here. Just make sure you remember that. Yeah, that's on how I imagine that creative had to go. How that pitch had to go. So, yeah. Next up, we got Finn Balor going against AJ Styles. And, well, you know, since everyone tends to do this joke, I feel I'm obligated and I have to. If this match was in the Tokyo Dome, it would have got like 7.5 million stars. But since it was a WWE show, and, you know, according to the Dirt Sheet Jerk-Offs, they'll say that the ticket sales it wasn't really a sellout. The tickets only had like 1,500 people and they papered the rest. And, you know, the crowd was completely dead and silent the whole time, and they just piped the audience the whole way and blah, 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 blah. Fuck the Dirt Sheets. Watch what you like, turn off what you don't. That's what I always say. I can't stand them Dirt Sheet nut sacks. Either way, Finn Balor, AJ Styles. Oh my fucking God. Now, first and foremost, have to acknowledge the fact, fucking way cool, AJ came out wearing this mask he wore at Wrestle Kingdom. And for those that get that reference, yes, he did wear that one on hand for this show. He came out wearing that. Solid opening, great movement, great storytelling with the action with these guys. Really fucking dug it. AJ, he was working on Finn's knee for a bit, and it got to the point to where Gallows and Anderson were brawling with Priest and Dominik, who were out there also, and then the fight wound up working into the crowd. At a really great pace, and really great stellar pace, pardon the pun, but phenomenal match. You know, it was, and it's hard to believe that this is only the second time these two cats ever went at it, you know? But either way, you had first gen leader of the Bullet Club going against the second gen leader, and for those that get that nostalgia and those that love that nostalgia, yeah, great. But those that love that and just want to see really and want to have a good time watching shows like Moi, fucking great as well. Match came to an end. AJ popped a phenomenal forearm onto Finn, 1, 2, 3. Following night on Raw, Mia Yim had a match against Rhea Ripley, and it then turned into a thing where Dominik was out there and wound up, and then AJ came out, and then the rest of Judgment Day, and then Gallows and Anderson, and then it turned into an 8-person tag, and then fuck, you know, I brain farted on that, and I just went full-blown Space Cadet. See, we don't edit out when we make our mistakes, folks. Unlike some shows, we don't hide our fuck-ups. I just went full-blown Space Cadet, and I don't even remember who won that match. Yeah, it was Judgment Day, that's right, yeah. So, yeah. Next up, Shotzi versus Ronda, and well, you know, I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but this was probably the downer of the night. This was really felt kind of clunky. It felt real clunky. Just, there's no other way to put it. And, you know, honestly, I contributed mostly to the fact that Ronda, well, they put her in a championship spot, but she's green she's not green as grass or goose shit, but as far as ring experience wise, she's still relatively new. I mean, okay, is she doing the house shows? Is she doing Or is she just doing pay-per-views and just training on the side? But yeah, I just... And I know some people out there are saying, oh, she's killing the women's division. She's toxic. She's this. She's that. I get all that. And they always follow up with, well, why is she in there? Because business, marketing. Do I like that she's in there? Hell no. But am I smart enough to see, okay, her name is going to help bring in people, is going to help attract people that may be only interested in the MMA combat sport world, and bring them and help scoot a few of them over into the wrestling genre? Yes, I fully understand that. I don't have to like it, but I understand the business aspect of it. You know? And, but yeah, this match was just, ugh. Probably the part that, and the one part that stood out to me more than anything was when Shotzi went to go do that DDT on the apron she normally does. You normally see people, they'll fall, but with their arm to protect them, that way they're like, ugh, like that. Just Ronda, she just looked like her body was like she had bags of cement all over her, like she didn't want to fall, like ugh, ah. And the fact that she was holding on to the rope the whole time, so like okay, dude, what? If you don't want to take the bump, talk about it before you plan the match out. Just yeah. Either way, Ronda, no surprise, got the win. She did that Piper's Pit Slam. Try saying that 10 times fast, and then did an armbar. Next up, we got the triple threat match for the coveted United States Championship. The almighty Bobby Lashley, Seth, Austin Theory, and the champion Seth Elizabeth Rollins. And, well, first and foremost, both guys, they went to take out Theory right at the start. And then Bobby wound up leading. And it was just very much so like a normal triple threat where everyone had a few minutes to shine, where it was like Bobby Seth for a bit, and then Bobby Austin, and then Seth Austin, and then, you know, just kind of rotating like that for a minute. But it was a good way. It was a good triple threat. It wasn't like one of those generic, oh, well, let's just pit this, and a guy together, and you go out there, do your thing, guys. No, this is actually decent, and, excuse me, this was good. You know, I dug it, and match came to an end when Seth, he had Theory up for a Falcon Arrow, and as he had him up for it and was getting ready to transition to spin him over, Lashley then hit him with a spear, and then as Seth hit the ground, Theory's arm landed on top of him. 1, 2, 3. So by sheer luck, your winner and new United States Champion Austin Theory. He then came out the following night on Raw, cut a promo talking about on how he's did this, he's the new champ. He's not going to take any more shit from anyone, and he's certainly not a kid. And then Seth came out looking like Seth's outfit game has always been rather interesting, but what he wore on Monday night, I'm not even sure it was really an outfit so much as he just picked out like probably some of Becky's negligee. And was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear this on Monday, honey. I'm gonna just borrow some of your skimpy outfits, and I'm gonna just borrow this skimpy outfit to walk out on Monday. That's what I'm imagining. But yeah, he came out, and then it's like, you got lucky. You are in for the fight of your life because I'm coming back for what's mine, kid. And then Theory just said, nobody calls me kid. Which, that always cracks me up because, I don't know, where I grew up, calling someone kid wasn't an insult or a term of endearment. It was just what you called people if you didn't really know their name or something. Like, hey, kid. You know? And anytime somebody ever gets mad when I do that, then I'm like, God damn, kid. Ain't no need to get all upset like that, kid. Just call him kid because I don't remember everyone's names right away. The way you act, and it's almost like you're acting like a child. But yeah, that's me being a dick. Anyways, now we come to main event of the night. The men's War Games match. Sheamus' team, the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, going against the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and the Honorary Us Sami Zayn. Butch and main event Jey Uso start the show. And man, these guys were good for those first 5 minutes. And when it was Bloodline's turn to have someone come down, Jimmy, he was getting ready to go, and Roman just sitting there a whole time. He just sitting there like this, like waiting, just like, I'm not going to sit up. I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to pace and bounce back and forth like, let me out, let me out. No. I know when I'm coming out. I know when I'm coming out. And when I do, I'm going to smash him, I'm going to wreck him, and then I'm going to go home. You know, he just sat there calm and collected like that. But anyways, when it was the Bloodline's turn to come out, Jey was getting ready to come out, and then it was like, and then it's like, ooh, okay. And then just had Sammy go instead, like, me? So, yeah, Sammy, because he wanted Sammy and Jey to work together, even though them two have been going like water and oil all this time. But then Jimmy came in, brought in tables, and that was the only weapons that they had for the men's War Games match, which I'm all cool with, because you know sometimes less is more, and if you have the same kind of stuff that was in the women's, then it kind of takes away from the women's, and then it takes away from, which in turn takes away from the men's, which in turn takes away from both matches, and it takes away from the lure of, oh my god, craziness, kind of, for War Games. But either way, when it was Solo's time to come in, man, he fucking wrecked shit up, son. And you know, you keep on noticing anytime the Bloodline comes out, they all go and throw up the ones, all while Solo's just sitting there like that, and it's just like, the way I keep on looking at him, like, you know, he just sits there like, no, I'm here, but I'm not really part of this kind of thing. And it just, to me, it feels like it's kind of a setup for him to go on his own and to have Solo be Solo. But either way, Sheamus and Roman were the last ones in, and yeah. Then the match began, and then that's when all hell broke loose, and it was fucking beautiful. Very much so, like the last War Game match. Car crash, but in a good storytelling kind of way. And it was awesome to see, especially with Kevin Owens coming out in his Dusty Rhodes tribute ad on black jeans, a Dusty Rhodes shirt, and a red elbow pad. Just like the American Dream, the Rose, baby. That's right. The creator of the War Games match, if you will. But, yeah. Really cool to see. The ending for the match was great, too. Sammy, he wound up... Surprisingly, Sammy turned on Kevin Owens himself, because Kevin Owens, he popped a stunner onto Roman. Ref was counting 1, 2, and instead of Sammy breaking up the pin, Sammy interrupted the ref count, and then Owens just looking like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And Sammy just looked at him. They're my family. They're my family. And then he's like, that's your this is your family. And then started going beating up one of the other Usos. And then Sammy then just, boom, low blows him. Low blows Kevin Owens. Pops him with a hell of a kick. And then lays him out for Jey Uso to go and jump and do a splash onto him. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Afterwards, the Bloodline all rejoices. And then Roman, he embraces Sammy. Jimmy, he embraces Sammy. Solo embraces Sammy. And then, the moment we've all waited for, Jey embraces Sammy. Excuse me. And then the following night on Raw, we see everyone short from Roman and Heyman out there and celebrating the fact that, you know, they're all Usi. They're all on the same page. They're all good. And then Kevin Owens comes out on the apron. And it's like, and Sammy's just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Oh, just listen. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at what you did. I get it. I mean, you look back on our friendship. How many times have I stabbed you in the back? You know? How many times have I stabbed you in the back and we've still been friends? This time though, no. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be in the same arena as you. I don't want to ride with you. I am done with you. Because I got no problem with the fact that you stabbed me in the back. But to say that's because that's your family, just remember, they're all blood. You're not. And it's just a matter of time before they decide to say you're done. Then Sam's like, okay, you know what? We're done? Fine, we're done. I'm glad. All that jazz. And then Kevin says, now I'm done with you. That doesn't mean I'm done with the rest of you guys. So then Kevin and Jey wind up getting into a squawking match, which leads to a match later on Raw. They have a great match, which ends with, and then, yeah, it was a really good match. I dug the hell out of it. And, yeah, the Bloodline wound up walking out, standing tall at the end. So, very much so what you would expect. I thought, all in all, I gotta say, Survivor Series was a hell of a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it. If you got the Peacock, I highly suggest you go back and watch it when you can. Now, with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. So, please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Also, did sign up for that new Hive gimmick. Tim Vicious on there as well. Still trying to figure that out, so bear with me on that. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ollie Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details on down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to check out whatamaneuver.net for some Vicious Rants apparel, which is the perfect gift to give somebody that you love, or somebody that you hate for this time of year, or just something to get to go and give the goodwill. Definitely got no problem with that. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass cats right on the Twitter. Kenny Gilla, DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.